Well, you'll know the world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. You know what I mean? It's a very mean and nasty place.
This week on Hooligan Nation, holy snikes, Batman. Someone has taken too many shots to the brain. This is a can't miss episode where Father Rocco lists every KISS studio album from worst to first. And there's a lot of shockers in there, and there's some surprises.
My hands were tied on a few things, but you know.
His hands should be tied. He should be hog-tied for this. Stay tuned, because you got
nothing to lose.
You
wanted the best. Well, they retired. So you got two dudes in a garage.
Talking KISS. Welcome back to Hooligan Nation, a KISS-Centric podcast. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Rocco.
Today has been a long time coming. Finally, we're going to rank our favorite KISS studio albums. And before you say, why should I watch another podcast like this? Because everyone ranks albums. Well,
why should I watch another podcast like this?
Well, let me tell you why. Because we are overthinkers.
Oh, yeah.
And as such, we've come up with a method to rank these albums. We put our little thinking caps on and came up with a scoring system that removes as much emotion and nostalgia from the process as possible.
And I'm an emotional guy, so there was a little steam coming from my head at different times of this.
I am devoid of most emotions.
That's why we balance each other out.
But first, do you have anything that you would like to add to last week's episode?
Oh, favorite lineups. I come to the realization that, and you know, I've said this many times since we started this thing. I like all the different layers. Like, you can pick your favorite lineup, but there's something I like out of every member that's ever been in KISS, including some of the Ghost ones and Anton Fig and Bob Kulick. Like, I like the journey that KISS has taken and all the members that have taken part and been a part of their journey. So what I take out of that is just that I think that every single grouping, every single grouping had something to offer.
Even Tommy and Eric?
Yeah.
Traitor.
Hey, listen, and Monster, you know, Tommy, like I said, Tommy found his identity a little bit in the last studio album for them.
It was good. Ranking them, it wasn't great, but we kind of knew it wasn't great. But it was good. If by all means, I think that's it, and we won't get another studio album. And if we don't, Monster is not a terrible end.
Well, and we talked about it, right? That last song too on Monster was kind of a nice way to put a bow on the whole catalog.
I like all the lineups. I agree with you that all the lineups added to the KISS story. So I think they should all be respected, including the Tommy and Eric lineup. And I've said this before, I appreciate the Tommy and Eric lineup.
Me too.
And I appreciate it because it gave us 20-some years more of KISS touring. Some of it was bad, but a lot of it was pretty good. So I appreciate them all. But I think 90%, probably more KISS fans, some form of the makeup error will be at the top of their list. I think.
Yeah, I can agree with that. You know, the other thing is that there's not many bands, we've said it before. How many bands have 22 studio albums? I mean, I know that you're tired of me going back to the Beatles, but the Beatles were such a name and they only had 6 albums.
Wait a minute.
I'm just saying, I have to compare it that way because KISS had 22 What, 22?
No. They either have 20 if you're not going to count the solo albums, or they have 24 if you're going to count the solo
Well, I'll
albums.
count the solo albums and say 24 is a lot of studio albums.
Yeah. I mean, look,
How many fans are lucky enough to have 50 years of music from their favorite band?
I think one of the least talked about things is how hardworking KISS was between touring and albums. And I understand that in the 70s, a lot of bands pushed out music much faster, but KISS was averaging 2 albums a year for at least a couple years until, and it's probably part of the reason why the wheels fell off in the late 70s. And Ace has come out, and look, not that Ace is the victim in all of this, but Ace has come out more than once and said, I needed a break.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, just to feed off of what you just said there. Like, everybody wants to not trash, but they throw shade about Ace and his work ethic. Even Ace has thrown shade at times at his own work ethic. But you know what? For the amount of work that they put in the beginning of their careers as a band, he had a work ethic. I mean, like you said, he probably got burnt out. Not everybody's meant to continue doing that. I think Paul's a machine, to be honest with you.
News.
My news is also the music that I'm listening to. If you don't know, the news that I have, Sammy Hagar had a dream about Eddie Van Halen, about playing with Eddie Van Halen, and he actually felt like it was almost like he came to him in a dream, for real. And it gave him inspiration to write a song, and it's actually a really good song. It's very much of an Eddie feel from Joe Satriani on it.
Oh, you think?
Oh yeah, big time.
Oh my God.
Let's just say that Satriani does a really good job trying to get up to that level there.
If you close your eyes, and you don't look at Satriani, it's Eddie Van Halen. It is absolutely 100% Eddie.
And there's no doubt in my mind that he loved everything that Eddie ever did.
Yeah, well, he definitely paid attention to it.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Yeah. The song's called Encore, Thank You, Good Night. It's a really good song. And the extension of that, he had another dream, supposedly. Again, this is just rumors and stuff that's out there. But supposedly Eddie had a dream. He's definitely a tormented soul when it comes to Alex Van Halen. He wants to make up in the worst way, and Alex keeps on, distancing himself. He said that he had a dream that Alex came to him in a dream. He was trying to say, make up or whatever. And he said to Alex, what did I ever do? What was the problem? And the dream ended with Alex saying, you mean you don't know? So I think part of the thing is there's something that went down, and Alex is like, for you to have to ask what you did, is a problem. And I think a lot of it has to do with Sammy's book, but that's my news and music.
I can understand Sammy's issues. I read the book. It was,
Cool. I didn't know that.
It was a long time ago. It was when it first came out. Nothing jumped out at me other than the fact that Eddie was a shit show. And he was killing himself. And,
it's obvious to me that Sammy really cared.
Can't argue with the fact that maybe Sammy was right. Eddie was killing himself.
And I think you can agree with me probably. It seems like all the great ones, they have some demons in it, or they have some things that maybe in some ways it kind of puts them in an element that makes them above and better than somebody ever. You can cut this part out, but what I'm trying to say is
no, I wouldn't. No, I'm not going to cut it out.
Well, Prince,
there's a lot of validity to it.
Only the good die young. Like some of the greats, I mean, were so tormented in some way. Elvis, I mean, Jimi Hendrix. I mean, the list. Prince. The list goes on and on. It's really a shame. What made them Michael? Yeah, exactly. What made them special, I think, in some sort of ways, kind of did them in some ways.
I think there's a lot of different ways to look at it. I think people have probably been looking at it forever. Well, at least since Elvis died. Those creative people a lot of times are very much tormented. I mean,
Mm.
don't go any farther than comedians. I have never heard of the happy comedian. They're all tormented in some way.
Oh, you know who's the catalyst for that? Robin Williams.
And well, I mean,
There's a lot of them though.
there's a ton of them.
So look at
I mean,
what's his name? Tommy Boy. What's his name?
Yeah, whatever the hell
Chris
his
Farley.
name. Yeah, you can go back to Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
I think it may have something to do with creativeness. I also think it has to do with being on top of the world, meeting your heroes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your brush with greatness last weekend, shall we?
Yeah. I don't like to really show off in any way. This is definitely not showing off. This is just something that was a dream come true. I went to a guitar clinic at my local guitar place that I go to, music store, Richie's Music in Rockaway, New Jersey. And George Lynch, my favorite guitar player, I've admired him for a long time. I love everything he does on the guitar. Was at a meet and greet and clinic, and they say don't meet your heroes, and I couldn't say anything more good about him. He was fantastic. He was funny. He came in there, he was laid back. He didn't take himself too seriously. You know, they had stuff set up for him upstairs, and he wasn't like, he didn't demand anything. I've seen so many lesser talent like demand certain things a certain way and sound and whatever. He was real casual about it. He didn't want to really play too much Dawkins stuff. That was pretty obvious, but he did Purple Rain and did his own twist with the guitar, which was phenomenal. He did Hotel California. And the most incredible thing happened. I was sitting in front row and I was singing along to some of the songs. And those of you that listen to this, you know, I'm a musician. And I got egged on by the guy behind me to go up and sing Into the Fire. And I got a chance to sing Into the Fire with George Lynch to the left of me. It was incredible. Although when I went up there, I was expecting Alone Again. And Into the Fire I didn't know as well. So a guy was next to me sitting as the song is playing and before the intro comes on, hands me his phone with lyrics. And I think I did a pretty decent job. I'm still waiting to try to find the video for it. But when I tell you it's a memory I'll never forget the rest of my life. And George was funny as hell. I'll end with this. One of the first things he said as he started having the Q&A, he says, you know, I've done pretty well for myself. And I in my old age, I've gotten, the words maybe not exact, because I've gotten a little bit I've gotten charitable. Is there any, and I try to help the needy. Is there any guitarists that are down, guitar players that are down and out that, you know, could use a brand new guitar? And like, it was hilarious. Everybody laughed. Everybody raised their hand. Like he had what I didn't know about him is how good his personality was. He was such a cool dude. He was such a good guy.
Did he give out any free guitars?
There was a contest. There was one of his guitars that I had a ticket for it. I didn't come. I don't think I came close, but there was a yellow striped guitar that he had given away.
Very cool.
Signed, and he signed it. So that you literally, as the person took it, he signed it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
The return of our Shout It Out Loud segment due to the return of KJ Nodwell. She's back, folks. And if you don't know who she is, you should. She sent me an email. It was in reference to, not sure. I think it was in reference to the Sonic Boom album review episode. She says, hey, Anthony, I wanted to add something to what you and Rocco were discussing on the podcast recently regarding the amount of hate Tommy Thayer received for wearing Ace's makeup. I remembered an interview Bruce Kulick did on an old episode of Three Sides of the Coin. It's a great interview. If you haven't heard it, check it out. Tommy Summers, who's one of the hosts on Three Sides of the Coin, if you don't know, asked Bruce why it seems that Tommy gets so much hate from fans, whereas Eric gets so much less. This is what Bruce said. Ace is a bigger icon in the world of KISS than Peter. He is the lead guitarist, and in most bands, the lead guitarist is usually bigger than the drummer. Michael Brandvold, who is another host, agreed with this statement, as does Kelly. He also went on to discuss how intense Ace fans are. Well, that I can attest to. Also, Eric is a very well-respected musician and has played with some heavy hitters. I also agree with your statement regarding Eric having played on a previous KISS album. First and foremost, thank you, Kelly, for sending the email. Thank you for supporting us pretty much from day one. Shout out to Pamplemousse and Dan the Man also. They've pretty much been here from the beginning. Yeah, I responded to Kelly's email and said that, look, this is a big struggle for me and I don't really have any answers. Look, I'll tell you, I don't think that it's because Ace was a bigger star. I also don't think that him being the lead guitarist in this case has anything to do with it, but that's my opinion. To me, each original member of KISS was their own character, had their own fan base. For some reason, and I consider myself an Ace fan, the Ace fan base is by far the craziest. They will fight to the death for my boy Ace. And I just don't see the same kind of craziness out of Paul, Gene, or Peter's fan base. I mean, it's a little unfair with Peter. Peter's been pretty much out of the limelight for years and years and years, but we have a new poll. Oh, God. Dude, out of everything, I love the polls more than anything at this point.
Stripper pole?
No. Remember, we can get a stripper pole, but you got to dance on it. Our newest poll, we cooked and simmered for 6 days. So the poll was, who was most responsible for the longevity of KISS? You had 4 different choices: Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, Doc McGee, or the fans. How do you think that turned out?
I mean, I know for me it's Paul.
Well, we got a lot of votes. We got a lot of votes for us. So this is like a real legitimate poll. I'm not 100% sure how many votes, but we got almost 50 votes, I think, between the Facebook page, you know, that Facebook group that we're on, for anybody that's not on there, Hooligan Nation, KISS-Centric podcast on Facebook group. Anyway, and our community tab. And we got 6 days of simmering and cooking, which is good. And Gene came out at the bottom with 3% of the vote. Not incredibly surprising, but I would have expected he got a little more. Doc McGee doubles Gene Simmons and gets 6%, which did shock me a little bit. The fans came in at 37%.
Really?
Which I can't argue. I mean, I came up with the poll, but I can't argue with the fact that KISS does not hang around for 50 years if the fans bail on them. And finally, at number 1 with 55% of the vote, Paul Stanley. Now, I agree. It's either Paul or it's the fans. Just depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, I didn't look at it. I mean, obviously I'm a fan, so but I mean, to me, Paul was the glue.
Paul was absolutely the glue, but there's nothing for Paul to glue if the fans aren't there.
But if he ain't creating, writing music and keeping the band together, there's nothing to root for.
Then the fans aren't there. That's what I mean. So
Yeah. It works hand in hand.
The fact that between Paul and the fans is 90% makes sense to me. Hey, let me ask you a question.
What do you got?
Do you YouTube?
I'm always on YouTube.
When you YouTube, how do you support the YouTubers that you like?
If I find something I dig, I subscribe to it and I hit like right away.
That's a great idea. I'm sure the creators appreciate your support.
I would think so.
You think maybe now's a good time to ask everyone in the audience to support us?
Absolutely.
To everyone in the audience, please subscribe to our little channel. And while you're there, hit the like button.
We're enjoying what we're doing and we want to continue to grow the hooligan community.
We appreciate all your support.
Absolutely.
And now it's time for our main event. Before we get to listing our albums from worst to first, let me explain a couple things. This will be a two-part show. So the Rock E.O. will do his list this week. And next week, I will do my list. Each song on each album, you could give a number from 0 to 10. To get a 0, the song has to have 0 redeeming value. In other words, it's nothing but noise, and there's just nothing there. A number 1 is awful. A number 2 is what we like to call a skippy song. That's a song that you hit the skip button on. Number 3 is a bad KISS song. Number 4 is a below average KISS song. 5, of course, is average. 6 is above average. 7 is a good KISS song. 8 is a great KISS song. 9 is an amazing KISS song. It's got to be at least one of the stars of the record. And to give a song a 10, it has to be a legendary KISS song. One that would have changed history if it had never been created and put out. So that's the guidelines that we followed. To make the numbers even between a record like Hot in the Shade with 15 songs and a record like Ace's solo album, which we included the 4 solo albums, so we'll be doing 24 albums. To make it even, we took those numbers, we compiled those numbers, and we created a percentage, and we took that percentage number, and that's how we came to our final results. That was the fairest way for us to do that. And look, I'm definitely not knocking anybody, but I started watching podcasts, KISS podcasts, a couple weeks ago, watching album reviews, and everybody reviews the albums the same way, pretty much the same way. And you hear things like, oh, I don't care if this album sucks. It was the first album that I bought, so it's my number 1 album. Well, we didn't want that to be. So we graded each individual song, and what we accomplished out of this was the better the full album was, the higher it will be ranked. If you put 2 good songs on an album and then there's 8 songs that suck, the album's not going to get ranked high. If you put 8 pretty good songs on an album, then it's going to rank higher. So we rewarded KISS for being consistent, and we punished them for inconsistency. So, well, you know, when the B-side is all the throwaway songs, it didn't turn out very well. When it was a good, complete album, to us, personal opinion, and we're pretty sure, and we don't know what each other's list is because we like to do that to each other pretty much because we don't even know if you guys care or not, but we don't like to tell each other what the other one's thinking because then it to us it seems rehearsed and fake.
And I struggle more with analytics than he does. I definitely have emotion that I have to fight with certain things on this, but I think after going through it, I stuck pretty close to the analytics as best I could.
If you're here to this point and you're wondering again, why the hell am I listening to another or watching another podcast that's going to rank albums? The answer is because we're the only ones that I could find that we actually did it analytically. So with that being said, it is your show, Rocky and Bullwinkle.
All right, before I go into it, I'm going to just preface it by saying that you made a comment a long time ago that sticks with me through all these episodes. Even the songs I hate, I love. So that being said, even the albums I hate, I love. This is my band. I love it for better or worse. And on some of the albums that rated low, I still like a lot of that album. There's certain things I find good out of all of it. Some of it's not complete. Some of it needed more to it. Some of it, they went off on a tangent after being really good. So it's all relative based on what I had. But if I'm starting out with my number 24 album, the number 24 album is The Elder for me.
Oh my God. That magical masterpiece of music is 24th.
Yeah, I need video. Video that climbs up maybe 15. And it may go up another 6, 7 spots. You don't know.
Really? Really? Was there any good songs on the album?
Yes. Not complete. Not too many. There's The Oath. I like The Oath a lot. And I love World Without Heroes. They were pretty much the only 2 songs that I could say that I would really search out, because some of the other songs, they start out good and then they go off on another world and they don't connect. Again, if there's video behind it, I'm a Pink Floyd fan, the concept stuff, if you have the visual, that's just my opinion on it. But there was definitely some good there. And I feel like, unfortunately, The Elder was kind of like that lost soul on their catalog.
So it didn't go to heaven or hell. It's stuck in purgatory.
It's in purgatory. Absolutely, it's in purgatory. Just like a lot of the songs on the album.
Let me ask you a question because this just popped in my head. If Ken Nardi's version was the official album version, do you think it would still be last?
No. Definitely not.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I just popped in my head because I stayed as far away from things like compilations and unplugged and live. Like I tried to stay as far away from that as possible when I was rating these songs. I tried to rate them for what they were on the album. So
all right, so the next one I have here, number 23. You would actually call this person at this point in his life an elder. I got Peter Criss, solo album.
Ooh, no love for the real Catman, huh?
I love him. I don't love that album.
I don't know many people that do. I can't argue for it being number 23. I've stated before, I think I like 2 songs on that album.
Being stated, Peter matters to me.
And that's one of the songs. 'Cause you matter to me, and that's fine. You still matter to me. Do, yes, you do. Sorry.
It's okay. Numero 22 is a real monster.
Ooh, whoa. You ranked Monster below Sonic Boom?
Yeah.
Wow.
Not by a lot. In my percentages, it was neck and neck. It really was neck and neck.
Was it more than 1%?
Yeah.
Really?
2%.
2%?
You were close. You were close.
No, I only asked because what separates Sonic Boom from Monster on my list is percentage points. It's not even a full point.
Yeah, I mean, you know what it is? Again, the bad songs really hurt the album. So it makes it interesting. It's made this has definitely been interesting because you can have an album with a lot of great songs, but a couple bad songs really hurt the album. The next I have, number 21, I have Sonic Boom.
Oh, shocker.
Yeah, I told you they were neck and neck. I put those albums are very, the only differences for me after going through all these reviews, and those are pretty fresh in my mind. For the most part, the only difference I feel from thinking of those two albums is I have a Tommy Thayer thing. Tommy Thayer was Ace Frehley on Sonic Boom, and on Monster, he was a little more of himself. The next one I have after Sonic Boom at 21 comes in at the solid number 20, Gene Simmons solo album. I was surprised that,
wow.
I'll be honest with you, that was one of my surprises. I was surprised that it rated above Sonic and Monster for me. Like that's probably the one thing that I'm not happy about on the entire list. Because I thought I would want, if I had to choose just randomly, I would put Sonic and Monster above Gene. I'd put Gene probably right after Peter. If I was doing it just without doing the numbers.
Really?
Yeah. I like Radioactive. That's like the one main song I like on that album. At number 19, I have Unmasked.
I guess that doesn't shock me. I mean, number one, you're not a big, I think I'm a bigger fan of Unmasked than you are. But after scoring this, I can see why you put Unmasked where you put it.
I do feel a little schizophrenic though when I think of Unmasked right now.
Why is that?
I don't even understand it at all. But listening to it again for this list, I'm like, that's not a bad song. I said that about 4 or 5 times. So like there was like 4 or 5 songs that I listened to again on Unmasked where I'm like, that's not as bad as I thought. It's kind of weird.
It's not. And I think it's an album that takes some time and has to grow on you. I had never paid much attention to What Makes the World Go Round until we did the album review. And I now, 40 some years later, I love that song.
Well, you know how much like knocked Shandy?
Shandy?
I don't, yeah. But I listened to it. I'm like, that's a really cool beginning. Next one, at number 18, I have Hot in the Shade.
Hot in the Shade at number 18. Wow.
And not for nothing, it was very close to Unmasked. The numbers were pretty close.
Does that prove that quantity never beats quality?
Yeah, I fought you on Hot in the Shade, so I'll give you that. You win that one.
I mean, look, Hot in the Shade has a couple really good songs on it. The problem is it's got 12 or 13 shit turd songs on it that kills it.
They were looking to dump some of their songs they had laying around. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yep. I know, Paul and Gene are not watching or listening to our podcast, and I'm fully aware of that. But if they are, that's what you get for half-assing it, because that's what that record was.
And here's the thing that you give them a little credit though. You went on that tour, right? You said that they didn't put it on the album, but they kicked ass in concert.
Oh my God, dude, that's universally thought. I have never come across anyone who ever said, I saw Hot in the Shade. It wasn't that good. The tour, the set list, the stage show, the performances, they were 100% on their game. I think I said this when we reviewed the album. It almost seemed like Paul and Gene sat down and listened to the album and said, boy, did we do a disservice to the fans. Boy, we're going to have to go out there and tour the shit out of this. Let's bring back classic songs.
All right. So My number 17 makes me crazy. Crazy nights. A bad song or two can really hurt an album because I like the album.
What's the bad song or two?
Bang Bang You, No. When the Walls Come Down, I hate.
Wow, hate's a strong word.
I don't like it. I really don't like that. Maybe not hate. Not hate. That's a Skippy song for me. Yeah, there were a couple songs I really don't like, but let me put it to the other, let me go the other way. I'll Fight Hold You. I love it. Crazy Nights. I love it. Hell or High Water. I really like it. My Way. I like it a lot. Reason to Live. I love that song. Turn on the Night. I like. Good Girl Gone Bad. I like the tone of the chorus a lot. So there's a lot to like, but the ones I don't like really hurt that number.
I love Crazy Nights.
Me too.
I do, and all its popped phenomenon. Reason to Live, and I really think one of the most underrated Kiss songs to me of all time is Turn on the Night.
Yeah, that's a great song. Brings me to the biggest surprise I had on my list of all.
Oh,
bad songs really hurt this album a lot.
I like surprises.
Yeah, this one actually makes me a little sad because I thought going in that this would be right at the top or like one of the tops. So I think we'll probably know where I'm going now. The original Kiss album comes in at number 16.
Wow.
Love Theme from Kiss and Kissing Theme.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was disappointed and surprised.
Folks, I want you to know that the opinions of some of us on this show do not reflect the show's opinions.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it. I'm being honest, I'm not happy about it.
He's his own guy, and I promise you that we're 16?
16.
16. I promise you that I have not ranked the original Kiss album at 16.
Can I be honest? Can I be honest about something?
Oh, you can be honest about anything you want.
Okay. Get in close.
All right. Okay. If I get any closer, I'm going to have my tongue against the screen.
This is the only part of your point system that I absolutely freaking hate because it makes me look bad. All right. At least put it out there to the hooligans, please. Where did I think before we even started doing this stuff? Where did I think the original Kiss album was going to be?
I don't remember, but I would think it was
top 5. And I got it at number 16.
It's crazy to me. I'm no offense, like
hooligans. If you're mad at me, I'm mad at me too. I don't know how it happened.
Your number is your number.
But the other thing is too, now if you eliminate those two songs and you just base it on that and the point system percentage, that album is probably in my top 5. Does that count for anything?
No. What's wrong with you?
You know what?
Hooligans, I'm going to say what you're thinking right now. What is wrong with you? Put your hand out.
I'm an asshole.
Put your hand out. What's wrong with you?
Listen, if I had to do it over again, just so that I'd make sure it was right, there'd be like 6 10s and then a couple zeros. And this actually almost bothers me even more because Hotter Than Hell is at 15.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That bothered me less because Hotter Than Hell production value didn't give the full strength of the songs. But
hooligans, I want you to know I'm going to schedule him for a drug test.
Listen, the point system wasn't my idea. If I did it on emotion, it'd be a different list, okay?
Let me ask, what was your bottom ranked Kiss song from Hotter Than Hell?
All the Way.
All the Way was my bottom ranked.
And Strange Ways.
Ooh.
They were a tie at number 5.
Ooh. Strange Ways.
Average song. Average. I rated them both average.
I think Strange Ways is an above average song, but hey, okay. Next.
I don't want to do this no more.
I gotta tell you, those are 2 shockers back to back.
All right, number 14 shouldn't shock you because there were a lot of bad songs compared to the great songs. I got Psycho Circus at number 14.
No, I can understand that. that makes sense to me. Psycho Circus is a little bit of a schizophrenic album, I think. The goods were very good, and the bads were not so good. So that doesn't shock me. Once again, I'm guessing Psycho Circus or We Are One was your top ranked song.
We Are One. I gave it a 10 because I love that song. It's one of my favorite all time Kiss songs. And Psycho Circus, I gave a solid. I think I gave it an 8.
And what was your bottom ranked song?
Raise Your Glasses.
Raise Your Glasses was your bottom ranked song.
I have 3 that were rated 5s, average songs. Raise Your Glasses, I Finally Found My Way, and Journey of a Thousand Years. That song is an elder song. Should be an elder song.
Well, I would agree with that. Let me tell you something, dude. I'll give this away. I Finally Found My Way a 2.
Wow.
For everybody watching and listening, I did not give out 10s like he did. I only gave out, I think, 2 or 3 10s throughout the whole process.
And I'll be honest, I gave Psycho Circus a 10, and I gave We Are One a 10. Psycho Circus had a very big impact on me. So analytically, I think it's a great song. It's a very complete song. And We Are One, there's nothing that I don't like about the song. I love that song.
Yeah, I love Psycho Circus and We Are One. We just scored differently, but we came to the same conclusion. What you got next?
All right. So next after that, at number 13, I got Revenge.
That's a little shocking to me too.
Well, you know what? I'll give you my low point on this. I gave it a 5 for the low score. Emotionally, I could have given it a 10.
Well, we wanted to take emotion out, but
I know.
I gave Revenge a couple 5s.
What did you give Car Jam?
I gave it a 5.
I gave it a 5 too, but to me, it could have been ranked higher because of my sentimental value towards Eric Carr.
Yeah, but that was the point. We weren't
Right. So
actually,
if anything, it's explaining more how we rated these. Coming in at number 12, I have Carnival of Seattle. Carnival of Souls at number 12.
I would say that that's a little shocking, but it's not. Look, I think we're both in agreement. Carnival of Souls is a good album. I think that's a good spot for it, personally.
And you know what? The thing that's a shame for me about that album is I think Paul did a really good job on that album. It's really a shame that he doesn't like it.
I think everybody did a good job on that album.
Yeah.
I do. I think the Demon Gene is everywhere. Bruce just tore that album up. Eric Singer was great.
So my number 11 is Destroyer.
Oh my God, dude. For anybody that wants to know what his address is, so you can come assassinate him, just send me an email and
you know what?
I'll give it out to you.
I'll put it in perspective. So let's say that the best songs Kiss ever did was Sweet Pain and Rock and Roll Party. Because those are the 2 songs that destroyed this album.
For the third time,
and Great Expectations.
For the third time on this list, for the third time, I'm speechless. I'm speechless.
So I would. Well, we'll get to your list when you do your list.
Detroit Rock City, King of the Nighttime World, God of Thunder.
Okay.
Shout it out loud. Beth, do you love me?
Okay. All right, so ask me what I gave to Detroit Rock City.
What'd you give Detroit Rock City?
10.
What did you give God of Thunder?
A 9.
What did you give Shout It Out Loud? What did you give Beth?
10. King of the Nighttime World, I gave a 7. Great Expectations, I gave a 4. Flaming Youth, I gave a 6. Sweet Pain, I gave a 5. I mean, to me, I think I rated this album pretty good. Great Expectations. There's some things I like about Great Expectations, but I consider it a less than average song.
What'd you give Rock and Roll Party?
0.
I gave it a 0 too. I think it was the only 0.
I had to give it a 0.
Oh, hell yeah.
I had to give it a 0.
Hell yeah. I gave that shit as soon as I hit play, 0.
Yes.
As soon as I hit play, 0 doesn't belong there.
I think when I was writing it, just writing the list, I put the 0 before I even got into doing rankings. Kids
out there, that is your brain on drugs. when your producer wants to drop Rock and Roll Party at the end of a great, legendary KISS record and destroys it.
They put a picture, this is your brain, and Rock and Roll Party is your brain on drugs.
Yep, absolutely. I think he's a mad genius, but there are some things on that record that kind of blow my mind, and the first one is Rock and Roll Party. You can't call it a song, it's just noise.
Number 10, breaking the top 10, is Paul Stanley's solo album.
Wow, Paul Stanley's solo album is ranked higher than Destroyer.
Not by a lot.
Oof.
The more Paul, think about it. Paul had more good songs on that than Destroyer did. Destroyer had legendary songs, but it wasn't enough to carry those two bad songs. Two bad songs on the point systems kill it, hurt it. Paul Stanley's album, right? Just as far as completion of an album with good songs. Tonight You Belong to Me, Move On, Ain't Quite Right, Wouldn't You Like to Know Me, Take Me Away, Together As One. I know you don't like, but I like that. I gave it a 6, though. It's All Right is another great song. Hold Me, Touch Me, Think of Me When We're Apart, I gave it 6. Love in Chains, great song. And Goodbye, a good song. So, like, it was more of a complete album. There wasn't any stinkers on the album. After Paul at number 10, coming in at number 9 is Love Gun. I know that, yeah, you Love Gun's like you're one of your all-time favorites, so that may sting a little bit.
I don't speak for him. I just let you know.
Immediately when he heard me bring that in at 9, I'm going to tell you the first thing he thought of. How could you rate Love Gun, an album with I Stole Your Love on it, in that position?
Dude, if it was just I Stole Your Love, I would be okay with it. But I Stole Your Love, Shock Me, the song Love Gun, Hooligan are just epic songs to me. And then the next tier, Christine 16, Tomorrow and Tonight, even got Love for Sale. Even I know you have an issue with what'd you rate Almost Human?
I refuse to say, because it's one of my it's my favorite song that I hate.
You refuse to say.
Hooligans.
Can you refuse to say?
I rated it a 6, but I wanted to rate it a 10 if they would have created the song the way I wanted it and kept that riff throughout the whole song. Yes, yeah. I'm still sticking on that weeks and weeks later. It had so much 10 potential.
Oh, absolutely. And then
Almost Human. If they got rid of that crap and they kept that riff going, that's a killer tune.
Yeah.
Sorry, Hooligans. Okay. All right, so coming in at number 8, I got Rock and Roll Over.
I can't complain. Rock and Roll Over is definitely 100% a top 10 KISS album.
Really, the only song I don't like on it is See You in Your Dreams, and I gave it 5.
I think I might have rated See You in Your Dreams a 6.
And I gave Ladies Room a 6, but I probably should have gave that a 7.
See, I think I gave Ladies Room a 6, and I feel like it's just not one of my favorite songs. I feel like it's average.
And Mr. Speed is one of my favorites. I love Mr. Speed. I gave that an 8.
I think I gave it a 7. But yeah, you know, look, all in all, I think once you get in the top 10,
can't make it bad. You're not making a bad choice.
Where in the top 10 you are is 100% a personal music preference, like what you like, what kind of KISS you like. So I think there's not that big of a difference between somebody that has Rock and Roll Over at, say, 2, and someone who has it at, say, 8. It's not that much different to me. If you're in the top 10, you're in the top 10. Like it's a very much above average, probably could be I think all the albums in the top 10 should be considered great Kiss albums.
Yeah, I agree. The other thing I want to make a statement about too is going into this, I really expected Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over, and I really expected them higher than some of the ones that you're going to see me finish up with. But I still am happy with my list completely. That the point system kind of threw me a little bit, so there was definitely some surprises when we get into and as we go further. But the next one coming in at number 7 is Dress to Kill.
Again, same as before. It's in the top 10. I absolutely think it's a top 10 Kiss album.
And it's one of my favorite album covers too.
I hear that a lot.
It's just cool. They're dressed to kill wearing makeup. I've always thought that was such a cool concept.
I mean, we might as well do this now. At some point, we're going to rank Kiss albums because it fascinates both of us.
Covers. Album covers.
Yeah, album covers. But I think I don't know why. It's interesting, but I don't think it's in my top 10.
There were 2 number 10s on that album for me.
Wow. Well, you handed out 10s like they were free.
Well, okay. I'll be honest with you. One of the songs was I had to put emotion into it.
Okay, what were your number 10s?
Rock and Roll All Night.
Can't argue with that.
And Come On and Love Me is where I fell.
Wow.
I fell in love with this band with that.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I rated Come On and Love Me a 6.
I got a question for you. Is there a song that you would identify as what made you fall in love with the band?
Is there one song?
One song that you can say, you can identify that you listen to it like a maniac. That's the song that brought you to the table with Kiss as a whole. The makeup and all that stuff visually brought you to Kiss, but what is the song? For me, it's an easy choice. Come On and Love Me. Did you have any catalyst, any song that's a catalyst for their entire catalog?
Yeah.
You're not even having to say it's your favorite song all time, but this is the one that kind of like made me fall in love with the band.
Yeah. It's gonna sound like I'm part of our promotion and marketing department.
Hey, listen, why would you go ahead?
It's Hooligan. It is. Look, I'm the first one to tell you. Like, I'm not trying to tell anybody it's a great or the greatest Kiss song or anything, but to me, I don't know what it is. Like, I gave it an 8. Right. So and we discussed this all week long, off camera, of course. I was tougher in my grading than you were. Hooligan was that spark. I think that made me a Peter fan.
Hooligans on which album again?
Love Gun.
I give it an 8.
Yeah. So it's just, look, I could easily name you 15, 20 Kiss songs that I like better than Hooligan. But again, it's like ranking the albums. It's like ranking pretty much most things with Kiss. I rank towards the positive. In other words, The Elder would be my 24th favorite Kiss album. I'm not going to tell anybody that The Elder sucks. Look, there's parts of The Elder that I think suck. But there are parts of The Elder that are okay, and then there are parts of The Elder that I really like. It's the same thing with songs. Now, there's a couple songs that Kiss put out that I think just suck. See Hot in the Shade.
You know what though? Like here's a good thing I just thought of. Like even The Elder, like it's not something that you're gonna get totally turned off listening to. You're comparing it to the rest of their shit.
Look, I'm going to say this, and it's not my episode, but you brought it up, so I'm going to say it. The Elder, Carnival of Souls, and Unmasked specifically are mood albums for me.
So next, I got Asylum at number 6.
So, little high for me, but
Have you watched the Asylum? Have you watched the All Night video?
yeah, well, that was enough to put that album where it is.
I'm joking. That's not why I did it. I went by
Good
points, and
for you.
it's. All right, I'm gonna have to. I have no choice. I'm gonna have to look it up and show you my rankings.
Oh, it's 100% all preference and opinion, but yours is wrong.
Well, you're not my ears.
No, thank you. If I was your ears, I would poe you and cut my ears off.
Folks, hooligans, you see how I set him up for that? I'm such a nice guy.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not a comedian. He just throws me softballs.
All right, so I'm going to give you the lowest score I have. Radar for Love on that album. I gave it a 6. All Night, I gave an 8. Secretly Cruel, I gave an 8. I love the song. Tears Are Falling. Tears Are Falling is one of my favorite rock songs of all time. I gave it a 10. The guitar solo with the rain coming down on Bruce Kulick, one of the coolest moments ever in the history of rock and roll.
Yeah, I'm laughing only because listening to all the other podcasts about album reviews, I can't tell you how many times I heard that too. Tears Are Falling is one of the greatest Kiss songs ever. I love the video where Bruce does the solo in the rain, and I'm like, what the hell does that have to do with the music? But that's the story of Kiss.
Love this. I love the hook too. I love.
No, man, it's the story of Kiss. The visuals go with the audio when it comes to Kiss, even when they were out of makeup. And a video like Tears Are Falling proves it. There's Bruce and all his pink and red, and everybody overlooks that and is like, wow, that's so cool. Like in the mid 80s, who needed more water in a music video? Every music video had water in it, 3/4 naked chicks, and breaking glass. Just go on YouTube and look back. They all got it.
I really don't have a problem with that. So the other thing is, one of my favorite songs of Kiss too is "Who Wants to Be Lonely." Like I personally think that Asylum gets a lot of negative things, and "King of the Mountain's" a great song. Any way you slice it, it's a good album. I was surprised, if I'm being honest, that Destroyer was ranked lower than Asylum. When I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's going to be an interesting content that we put out there. But based on the quality of all the songs, there's more quality songs on that album, I think, than a lot of Kiss fans recognize. Okay. So after Asylum, I have at number 5, breaking the top 5, I got Animalize. It surprised me. That was one that surprised me too. Again, some of these, if I'm being honest, some of these ones that ended up here, I thought would be below, like Love Gun, the album, or Rock and Roll Over, and and the first Kiss album going back down to that again. Again, the point system, it kind of made me be surprised with some of this stuff.
Stop blaming my point system on your bad mathematics. Okay?
You're catching on? Damn it.
You're trying to scapegoat me.
Yes, I'm trying to defend myself, damn it.
I think there are parts of Animalize that are epically great. The problem with Animalize is it's an uneven album, at least for me, and there's high highs and low lows.
I got 3 6s. I only have 1 10, and I'm probably the only Kiss fan in the history of Kiss that would rate this song a 10, but I love the song. Thrills in the Night.
Look, dude, we've been doing this like 7 months, and I've come to the conclusion that statement is the most false statement, because there's a Kiss fan out there that would give that song a 20 rating. 1 out of 10, they'd give it a 20 rating. And you know what? They wouldn't be any wronger than anybody else. I gave Thrills in the Night a 7.
You know what else is good, is cool about that song too? Paul's tone of his voice.
Mm-hmm.
Low. His voice is low in that song. And I mean, I like his high stuff, but it's got such a good feel to it. I've like I said, I've always loved that song.
We reviewed albums one by one. This was different, and if you sit there, like, we didn't do this all in one day, but if you sat there in one day and listened to all these albums, right after Animalize, the pitch goes high. And for Asylum, it's a little higher. And then for Crazy Nights, it's holy shit, helium high.
Yep.
Right? And I didn't notice, I never noticed it. Like, when everything first came out. And even when we did the album reviews, I never noticed it. He was trying to like reach some level that was, well, to me, was kind of unbearable. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, and I think it took a toll on him.
Crazy Nights, song after song after song, it was just too much. Like, you can start the record out to a song like Crazy Nights, and you can go as high as you can go. But it's like every song he's trying to go higher and higher.
Yep.
And it started right after Animalize.
Yeah, that's actually a really good take there. And coming in at number 4, and I didn't plan it this way, that these three would kind of be grouped together, which I find interesting based on the point system. But coming in at number 4, I got Lick It Up.
Doesn't shock me at all.
It's interesting that they're together though. Like Asylum, for me, it was Asylum, then it was Animalized, and then Lick It Up coming in at number 4.
I have always said from the start of this that Creatures of the Night, Lick It Up, and Animalize are all sister albums. And I've had people push back on me and tell me I'm wrong, but to me, they're very much sister albums. And the only reason why there's a drop off from Lick It Up to Animalize, in my opinion, is because there's less Michael James Jackson involvement. Michael James Jackson should have been to KISS what Bob Rock was to Metallica.
Oh, yeah, that's a mic drop, dude.
They should have kept Michael James Jackson in the mix for as long as they possibly could. Problem is, once you get out of Animalize, now you're very much into hair metal, and they were trying to create sounds that they were hearing on the radio. And I don't think Michael James Jackson would have done that.
Well,
and credit to Michael James Jackson for not wanting to do that.
Well, and to take the baton and lead from what you just said there. There are certain people in music, they're like Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora. There's certain connections that blend together that are just magic. Because Michael James Jackson, we've heard from other people in the past, he went on to other projects and he never had that same connection that he had with KISS. He was meant to work with KISS.
Yes.
And yeah.
And connection is the perfect word, because anytime you hear an interview with Michael James Jackson, you can tell in that interview that he had very much a connection to Paul and Gene.
Top 3.
It's funny, we're in the top 3, and there's only, I know, 2 out of the 3 of your top 3 because I've been trying to keep count. I just don't know the third one. And one of them shocks me a little bit. Like that.
Yeah.
The other one does not shock me at all.
Wow, that was, you know what? That was a pretty good lead to my number 3 at Ace Frehley. That was pretty good. Ace Frehley's solo album, one of my favorite all-time rock and roll albums, period.
Absolutely 100%. Couldn't agree with you more. For those that would rank Ace Frehley's solo album as number 1, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. Ace Frehley's solo album is one of the best rock albums of all time.
Yeah, I agree.
So
No argument.
whether
I
it's
would guarantee that you have him at least in one of your top three. I would guarantee.
whether it's in your top 3, top 4, like I said, I think from 2 to 10 are interchangeable. To me, 2 to 10 are kind of interchangeable.
We go to my last two, and to be honest with you, both of these albums could be slotted either way, because these albums are definitely my favorite two albums.
Oh,
Before
no.
before we even did this, these are, after we started going through the albums, right? We did this one album that I'm going to name. After we did this album, it came pretty clear to me what my favorite two albums of Kiss are. Right, so we're going to get to that right now, and this is regardless of the point system. So,
just so you know, with or without points, I could have predicted what 1 and 2 were.
Yeah, maybe not the order, but yeah, you could have.
Right, not the order, but I could predict what 1 and 2 were. I'm not surprised at all at this.
So number 2, by now you probably already know if you've been following along. Number 2, I got Creatures of the Night.
Wow, you didn't even give it number 1.
It could be number 1 too, though. It could have been number 1 too. But if I'm being true to the points, and I'm being true to the way I've kind of always felt, and even though there were plenty of times this number 1, which you probably already figured out by now, and I'm not naming it yet.
I figured it out.
There were times that I would say this album was my number 1, and people would make fun of it because it was a disco album. But I love this disco album. Number 1 for me is Dynasty.
Not a shock at all.
I mean, actually, if you're letting me, and you don't have to tape, if you're letting me do compilations, double platinums.
I would have been more surprised if Dynasty was not number 1 for you, and I am that Dynasty is number 1. What makes it interesting to me is that even with the analytics, it didn't change. If you would have done this strictly off emotion, like, oh, my favorite album's Dynasty, without any thought or any process, it would have been the same thing. Your list is much different than I expected it to be.
But I will give you, if you like, I can give you the rankings I had by song.
But
for
by
Dynasty.
all means.
All right. So, first song, I Was Made for Loving You. Can't rate it any. Yeah, you can't rate it any lower than a 10.
I could have called that.
The second song, 2000 Man, I got it as a solid 8. Sure Know Something, again, one of my favorite all-time Kiss songs. I got it at number 9. Dirty Living, I got as a 7. I bet you probably have that as a 6. So I got that as Charisma, one of my favorite all-time Gene songs because it's very unique. I got it at number 8. I got it as an 8. Magic Touch, I got as an 8. Hard Times, one of my all-time favorite Kiss songs, I got as a 10. To be honest with you, it's a song that if you really are an Ace Frehley fan, that's got to be in your top 3, in my opinion. That's who he is. That song's all about him. That's it. Not only is it a good song structurally, musically, and appealing to the ear, it's also the story of who he is and who he was before when he was young, growing up in the streets. I love everything about that song. The only thing I come out of this regretting is number 16, having the first Kiss album at number 16. But again, 2 songs just really hurt that album's chances.
Where did you have Destroyer?
Destroyer, I had at number 11.
I'm telling you, Hooligans, speak your mind.
Hey, listen, Hooligans, speak your mind, but go through and do the point system that like we did, and see if you have the same kind of troubles that I had.
Ain't nobody gonna spend the time. Hey, look, if you're watching or listening to us and you want like how we did this and the point system and you want to play along the same way we did, by all means email us and I'll send you out an explanation. There ain't nobody gonna spend that kind of time. This took a lot of time, a lot of heartache. There was a lot of heartache.
Coming out at the end of this, the point system was the right way to go because I'm an emotional guy, and most of my picks would be strictly with my heart, and I may have had it a little different.
Music is emotional. It 100% is emotional. I don't think it's because you're more emotional. Music is emotional. It was very hard to listen to a song like Hooligan and not go a 10 because that's the first 10. Any of the hooligans who want to firebomb his house, just email me. I'll
Do
send
not
you,
do it. Do not
I'll
do it.
send you his address.
I had strict restrictions. Otherwise, Destroyer would have been a little higher.
Don't worry about it. The Destroyer not in the top 10. Commonly known as the greatest KISS album ever. You know,
A little overrated when you consider the entire album.
You just heard. Did you guys hear that? He called Destroyer overrated. It's time to revolt.
All right, here, little question for you and the hooligans, okay? This is not me throwing shade. This is me being factual. What is a more complete album? Creatures or Destroyer?
Creatures of the Night is 100% more of a complete album to me. But Destroyer has much more legendary songs on it. So I think to most fans, that's going to make a difference when they rank them, no matter how they rank.
But that's not the way we rate these. That's not the way we rated it. And I'm not saying it's again. I went through a lot with this. The way that we ended up doing it was the right way to do it. I agree with the way we did it. It was a struggle for me, and having the original KISS album at 16 makes me feel like a fool.
Anybody who's wondering what my number 2 is and what my number 10 is, you're gonna have to wait till next week.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait. He won't even tell me.
That's when we get to discuss my better list. I promise you my list is better. For anybody that's wondered why our audio has sucked the entire episode, our apologies, but we spent 2.5 hours trying to get sound out for some reason, and well, we never kind of got it fixed, but we got to where we could actually do this. So
we were ready to throw equipment. We were getting that angry, so hopefully we were able to kind of curtail our anger and frustration and give you guys a good, entertaining episode.
Not even playing with you guys. We got on at 4 o'clock today, and we did not even start recording till 6:30, and we were just about to the point where we were going to take a week off because we were both out of patience. So I apologize for the poor audio quality. If it comes out to be poor, I can tell you right now, throughout this entire episode, I've got this ding in my ear every once in a while that I'm hoping isn't coming through, that I know is.
But hopefully we whatever we do, hopefully it keeps you guys entertained.
Yeah. If nothing else, we might be entertaining.
Hooligans, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope you'd like to participate, maybe even doing your top 10 albums. It's something that it was rough going through, but I know for him and for me, once we got closer to getting close to the ranking the last of the albums, it was like a race. You wanted to get to the end because you were dying to find out how your list matched up. So it may be in that you're with us, and you're a hooligan, it may be something that you find entertaining, at least trying to match up and find your top 10.
My list is going to be what the Hooligan Nation agrees to.
And just so you guys know, when this is over, I'm going to talk them into telling me the number 2.
No, it's not happening. It's not happening because, like I said, it's the shocker.
I know. I'm only playing.
It shocked me, so it's going to shock you.
Shock Dace, shock Tommy.
Yeah. I can just drive down the road to Ace's house and be like, dude, can you believe this was number 2?
Yeah, I don't know what's taking this so long.
Are you out of your mind? All right, folks. Thank you all for coming out. We went long. It was a rough day. I'm not even going to waste our time with everything. I think we're both tired. And I will say we appreciate the help for y'all coming out. Anybody that's still here, please hit the like button. Please leave us comments. Thank you for your support. Until next time, if it's too loud, you're too old. Peace out, Hooligan Nation.